Welcome to Crestwood. We're going to take a little video tour today, and I hope you enjoy our building. So let's go.
Steve, you're new to Crestwood Elementary. How do you like being here in Elyria and at Crestwood specifically?
I love it here. I will honestly say I love it here. It's been a great experience. It's a wonderful building. I love the kids. I love the teachers. It was an opportunity to come into kind of my roots. You know, I've been a principal from new to Crestwood, but I'm not new to the principalship. And this has been a really good opportunity for me. Just the Elyria City school system, just in and of itself, and me being from the outside, has just been very refreshing. So.
And Steve, you've come into Crestwood here in the one of the township schools.
Yes.
So what's your reception been like in the township?
Very good. I don't know how to say. It's not like it's hard to compare it because everyone has been so friendly. Everyone has been so inviting. The night that I was hired, I was at the board meeting. I walked out of the board meeting. There were two parents there. They had a group of about 4 kids. They were the first Crestwood students that I met. I recognized them on the first day of school, and we've been friends ever since. So, but the parents, the staff, the other administrators, and especially in the elementary level, through middle school, high school, they've all, you know, offer, you know, just, hey, here's some information, or call me if you need anything, or here's a little background on, and you know, it's just been phenomenal. And then through the different services, academic services, the special ed department, through maintenance and HR and oh my goodness, medical. It's refreshing. Like everybody knows their job, everybody wants to help and help out, and it's just been really, like, look at the smile on my face. I couldn't be happier. But
well, that's awesome.
It's okay.
Well, we want to see this school.
Okay.
The school's been around for a long time, but
I believe 1954 was the original, and then I think there was an addition at some point. At one time, it had been a middle school, I'm told, and you can see, sometimes you look at the floor and you can tell where the different sections started and what years, if there was an addition. But where we are right now, we're standing kind of, we've just come out of the foyer, or in the main door where most of the kids come through. I don't believe the office originally had the glass around it, but that provides a little bit. We've extended the office, I'm guessing, over the years. I can pick up on again on the floor, the tiles and whatnot. When the need arose, I know at one point the health clinic was in a different location, and we'll get there. But at one point the health clinic was in a different location, and it's had to be moved over the years. You had a need for some kind of a conference area or whatever, but we'll come back to that. And if we start here, we'll head to our media center, which we don't have right now with our numbers and our enrollment. We don't have the luxury of having both a library and a computer lab. So we've had to combine, I'm told we've combined those over the years. It's nice because we were able to get more, they were able to give us more technology. We have more desktop computers than we've had in the past, but it also serves as our library. So we do, the teachers will bring their kids here to have computer class during our specials or our AMPS days, art, music, phys ed, computer time. And also they come here for a lot of our benchmarking when we do our, when we check the progress of our students, how they're performing in reading or math, we use it for that. There are a few groups, classrooms that can actually have library, but it's mostly just a book exchange. So we rotate in. It's a pretty busy building. It's a pretty busy room, but it's a good room. So this is where we are now, both computer lab and library combined in one.
And you see that need a lot with the older schools
absolutely.
Having to use
absolutely.
Purpose rooms.
And that's going to be our next room, another multi-purpose room. But it's a great room. The next we'll visit on this side is our gymnasium. It's also our cafeteria, and we have a few students in there. They're having an activity, but this is a quick look at our gymnasium and our cafeteria. The brown structures that you see up against the walls on the far end that's our fold-out stage. So those can be extended. They make a fold-out stage. And then we can have programs where we actually have a little bit of a stage there, but it's not a permanent structure.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to head down to the older part of our building.
Yeah,
So here we are. We're entering the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade area, and we have some auxiliary rooms along this. This is a creative room. This is our art. This is our art room. Mostly, this is where our art teacher is. The art teachers, we have 2 different art teachers. They come in. It also shares as our server room. It also shares as a restroom and our storage room.
Oh my.
They prep a lot of their lessons here, and then they take their various little carts and they go out and visit the classrooms on their AMPS days. So they have art right in there. There was a time when there was a designated art room, designated music room, but now where we are with our enrollment, we've had to pull those back and use them. Now they're regular classrooms.
So this is not an art display.
This is not an art display, no.
Okay.
But you know what? In some people's eyes, this could be art. I'll bet there are some technology guys that really would, they would like that.
All right.
We have a few smaller rooms like this. They're usually Title I reading specialist rooms. They're throughout.
But again, really making use of space.
Every space. Yeah. We use every space. This will be interesting. There will be no one. This is a boys' room.
Okay.
It's also a tornado shelter. And
make some walls.
hello, gentlemen. Okay. The great thing about this room also is this is another area of storage for us. So we padlock these off, and we use our custodial. We have one in each of these restrooms, and our custodial staff has really they've been creative with the space we have, with the size, with the student population. We use everything that we can use, and so that I thought was a very innovative use of a very small space. What we will do, Amy, is we'll head down and I'll show you our part of the transportation with us as we get to the back of the school. The way that we're set up and with the number of buses that we bring in now, we can't use just the Crestwood entryway. It became, and again, I'm falling in on things, I'm picking up my histories. The traffic flow was just too much for buses, and the number of parents that were now picking up their kids. Our schools and our entryways and our drop-offs were built for school in 1954. Yes. Well, it's 2016, and a lot more personal transportation, a lot less walkers than what you used to have.
You're in a township where there's not a lot of sidewalks.
And we don't have a lot of sidewalks. So we'll take a quick step outside. Now there is a bus, this is the Westwood Elementary School parking lot. We do have a section that we have the thin orange cones. Our buses will come in the morning after the middle school kids. They'll come along those little orange bars that we have, safety bars, and then our students exit here. We have safety patrol that meet them, and teachers stand out and greet them and make sure they get up they come up the 2 pathways safely and enter the building either on the far end or the end where we're standing. It hasn't been an issue. It works pretty well. Safety is there, and they have the timing down just right, so we don't interfere with anything that happens in the middle school. So it's been a good relationship. We just had to switch it because the traffic flow was spilling out onto Griswold, and later in the tour I'll show you the front of the building where we do that. And I know just created an unsafe atmosphere and an unsafe driving conditions, and then traffic was gridlocked until they had the buses and the parent transportation out. It makes it difficult for supervision because now we need twice as many people to help with our kids that are being dropped off by their parents, even though our parents are they work very well with us and they have a flow and it works, but we have to have people out in 2 different places, and so we use our radios. We have our emergency radios that we've been utilizing, and that's been a huge help for us, so everyone can communicate and we can know. Dismissal, we have the same situation, so a lot of times there's been a last-minute change. We radio to one of the teachers on duty in the back. We find the child gets escorted to the front where the parent might be, so the radios have been invaluable to us, and it's just something you do when you have a building this age. You know, you just you make the best with what you have, and everyone's made it work pretty well. So,
yes,
okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Great explanation.
Thank you. I'll take you through. We'll show you. Okay. Sorry, it's a little harder than it looks. We're going to head this way. We're going to see one of our 4th grade area. Oh, this is a good area too. These are teacher planning rooms. Very quickly, we do have a microwave. We do have a phone that the teachers can use on this end. We don't have phones in every classroom. So in this was a this is a custodial closet / teacher prep room. We have a printer. We do have another copy machine. The custodians have they still use it to store a few things, but mostly they let the teachers have the rooms. When teachers want to make a phone call home, they can come here. They can have a little privacy. It's not like being at your desk during your planning time, but it gives them a place where they can talk to a parent, they can go through, offer help, check in, whatever. So we have one on this end of the building and very similar on the other end.
You know, it's interesting, Steve, because we often hear when we talk about new buildings, well, this is one of the new buildings.
This is Crestwood, okay.
And to look at some of the accommodations that you have to make, you know, just to provide basic answer to needs of teachers and
I moved, yeah, I came from a district where I was in a new building. It was built in 2004, and really it was, we had telephones in the classroom, you had, we had a chiller air conditioning system, you had carpeting, you had, and again, the building doesn't make the school. And the building doesn't give that child a good education. It's the people that give the child a good education, but it certainly helps.
Sure.
And when I could pick up a phone and dial a teacher's extension and get an answer quickly and not interrupt the rest of the classroom or not disturb, or, you know, the teacher, they would turn their ringers down low. The light would beep. If they saw it, they would pick it up. Yes, you know, John's mom is here to pick him up. Okay, thank you. It didn't interrupt the flow of the lesson. The learning happened. Our PA systems, you know, sometimes they go off, and you almost have to buzz a whole school sometimes to find a child, and that just disrupts a lot. So, I mean, I feel those, but I still, that's not what makes a complete education, but it does make it easy. You know, it makes it easier. It really helps when you have those, I don't want to call them luxuries, but
conveniences.
It's a convenience, and it works for the children. But this is, let me show you our 4th grade. These are fun rooms, and I love the way the 4th grade team works. If they want to, we can roll the sliding wall, and we can cut and make 3 separate rooms, or they can open it up and have one big room. And so they utilize that. They've been very creative with the wall space. They put their posters up. When they close the wall, they have their various different posters and things. They have some dividers that occur, and they help. Nice thing is our technology in every room is good. Every room has a smart board. All the teachers utilize the smart boards. A little tight on some of the storage space that you might have, but we do. And here's another creative use. This one, they've used chalkboard, either tape or magnets over the univent. Some of the teachers will use the letters and letter sounds for that, and they were welcoming Mrs. Chonko back, and obviously they like the Browns and the Cavs, so they're good students.
Well, you know, this actually, we've talked about this in other tours, but it really does give a nice illustration of how teaching and learning has changed over the years.
Oh, yes.
Desks that used to be single file and everybody sticks to their own now is kind of more group work and group think and trying to get kids working together and collaborating.
Most definitely. And our teachers do a very good job of that as well. It's not always easy when you're moving the table, but you know, the table work, the grouping work, a lot of small group instruction and rotating and stations and things. So they've really made nice adjustments with what we have here. I mean, I really think so. So it's been great. Okay. More rooms, very similar. You know, we talked about the 2 entryways for our bus students to come in, because coming in just one there's just too many bus students to use one, so we split them up. Sure. Like I said, it takes a little more manpower or adult supervision to get, but we make it.
Steve, how many kids attend Crestwood?
We have 452 right now. This, I do need to highlight this. This was Crestwood, I believe it was 1994, 1995. I think the students participated in an art grant that came, and they made the ceramic tiles, and this is beautiful. It is very, very nice, and it was one of the first things I noticed when I walked the halls for my very first time. It was gorgeous, and every student made a tile, and the principal made the tile, and I think it was Mrs. Parent, I believe.
Oh, yes.
I think that was her at that time, or Mrs. Arndt, and I can't remember her name. Some of the older artwork that we still have up, some of the classics, and some very, very good things. So I like the nostalgia that they held on to as well. And this, like I said, had been a middle school at one point, so we have a little bit of a mix of elementary, middle. At one time it was 1st through 5th or 1st through 6th. We didn't have any K here. So they've moved and adjusted with the times. Oh, another very creative use. Where we used to have coat racks for some of the smaller rooms, we now have storage containers, and they still keep the walls wide enough for fire drills, for bus or when we evacuate the building for the various things. So again, creative work by our custodial crew and our maintenance men as well.
You kind of blend right in with the
we try.
Color,
Yes, we do. We try. All right. They still have that group. Here's an interesting room. I'll show you this one. This is another area. Right now, presently, we are in the area that we use for our music teacher's office space, our phys ed teacher's office space, and we have occupational therapy, OT and PT, or use this space. This is what, you know, we added a kindergarten class after the school year started this year. We had to give up our music room, and so they graciously came in and said, sure, the more the merrier. And so we have, you'll have students in here, and you can see their different apparatus that they use and the different things that they will use for OT or PT. And the music teacher has a cart, and the phys ed teacher, I mean, she'll grab her things and skate around and go the long way in order not to interrupt anybody. It's also where we have our sound system, as you can see here. And this is fun. The old system, I haven't seen one of these for a lot of years, so this is neat. But they've done, I mean, they really have done a good job of patching, making things continue to work. So everybody should be commended on that. Again, some very creative storage. Anytime they can make a space to build storage, they have. And the teachers really, they utilize it well. So.
You see all of your piping and...
Yes, oh yeah, the old pipe wrap. Yeah. Yep, it's been a while. We have, it would be interesting, let's see if I can find a fire alarm system. Our system is old. It might not be old as some, but, oh, here we go. This is one of the newer pools that it's been adapted, originally not considered old by today's standards, but relatively new when you see some of the other ones that are in the building. And also the fire bell system. The newer systems, they have the flashing lights, they have more of a horn. We have a horn. Oh, here, this I'll show you right here. And again, the nostalgia of the building.
Oh, sure.
So we have the horn, and we still have, you know, the bell system along with the horn as well. So, so that's, you know, it's kind of neat. It's fun to see that. Let me see. Oh, I'll show you the rest of our custodial area, which again, this is the main boys' restroom that we use each day. Every space is utilized. It's almost like being on a naval ship. You know, they use every space, or a submarine. That's this is okay. Goodness. There it is. This is another one of our custodial spaces. We have our old washer for the rags, for the mops.
That's seen a lot of loads.
Yeah, this has, and it still works. And again, more storage. We utilize every space that we can. So, and then it's also our main restroom for our boys. All right. This is another interesting area, Amy, if you want to see.
What do we have in this wing?
Okay, this is obviously the gymnasium, which you saw before. Principal's office that leads into the rest of the office. Our faculty lounge, faculty lounge is a nicer room. It's relatively good space in here. This is where we, you know, this is a nice room. And we have, you know, we're a pretty big staff, you know, with the number of students we have. So this works out very nicely for us.
How many staff?
Oh my goodness.
Just an estimate.
An estimate, it would be. We have our traveling staff, but I would say, let me say K1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4 would be 24, 20. We have about 30 staff members that are in classrooms daily. On top of your, you have, you know, all your support staff, your teaching paraprofessionals, cafeteria staff that's in and out, custodial. So there's about 50-something people in the building on a regular basis or more. This would be, okay. This is our kitchen.
Okay.
There was a time when this was twice as wide and extended into the next room. So they had hot service through here, and you can almost see how the doors come in. They would come in down the hallway, line up, be served, get their food, and go to the cafeteria at one point. And then the door back here that's now covered by electronics and the clock and everything, that was a doorway into the actual prep area where they made the food and did everything. So they've added all of this. The area back behind our little register here had been the area where the kids would turn their trays in and they would get washed back in the day, which is now just a storage area for a lot of some old folding chairs that are in the district that they save just for special events in case there's overflow. They're always here at Crestwood. So this is now the area that had been the kitchen next door. Oops.
Well, you bring up a great point, because now Elyria High School serves as the district's central kitchen.
They do the central kitchen, and they bring the hot food to us, which is great. Now, this originally was sort of a custodial maintenance hallway, And this had been the original kitchen, then later became a number of different rooms. Most recently was our music room when we started school this year, and now is a room for 2 teachers that service our learning support students and our title students. So they share this space.
That
and again,
turned into a nice space.
it had, yes, yeah. So we adjusted, so one of them shares here and one of them takes the area back there, and they work very well together. And again, you could see some of these had been old kitchen countertops, almost cutting board, you know, the old chopping boards. Yeah, butcher block, huh? You don't see that every day. So, and then they did a nice job of dressing it up for storage. So,
doesn't like monsters, right?
Exactly. So this is what was the kitchen, then the music room, possibly an art room, is now a room where we're servicing students. So that's a real good thing. Yep. And, well, last but not least, probably the office space. I'll have to show you that. Oh, you know what? I lied. I'll show you. I don't think this was initially, oh, maybe I can't get in here. There it is. I think this initially was another, I don't remember what it was, but this is now our school psychologist office. So the days that our school psychologist is here, and then we will use this room. There's one about this size, and you saw our little speech room on the other end of the hallway. When these individuals aren't here, then we use this for other counselors. Our paraprofessionals will bring kids in, you know, and they look for the open spot when somebody isn't here, and then they come and they utilize the space. And everyone's really good about cleaning up and taking care of themselves and not leaving it a mess. But you'll see any number of 6 or 7 people come in and out of here in our speech room on the other end. So it's you know, it's good. Everybody really works as a team. Okay. And I only take you through my office to show you the history of what I believe, I'm told, by some of the longest standing members.
Okay.
So at one point, this was always considered the principal's office. And then this had been our health clinic at one time. This room where we are. You can see the water lines, and the principal and the health clinic would share the restroom back in the day. Over the years, there's become a need to have, you know, education's changed. We do a lot more parent meeting. We do a lot more supportive parents and things of that nature, or supporting kids through meeting with parents. And so this is our conference room that we use at Crestwood. Most of our parent meetings, a lot of our IEP meetings, our counselors will get together with our parents, and a lot of those meetings happen right here. Okay?
Great.
All right. Now we'll come this way. And that had been the health clinic, and this is now our health clinic.
Oh boy, right out
So
here.
this is, yeah, right next. So
Yeah, central area.
it has some advantages when you have the secretary and our nurse isn't here. Our school nurse isn't here every single day, but it gives her a close proximity. But it also makes it a little tough when you have multiple sick children and you're greeting a parent. But we make it work. So
Sure.
they
And,
do a
you know,
really
there's
good
the
job.
Privacy factor,
Yes.
of course.
Of
It's
course.
limited with that,
Yes.
course, so.
And then this is all our office storage in this counter. And so here we are. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. It was fun to have you take our little tour with us. Have a great evening. I hope to see everybody stop by Crestwood and see us, and go Pioneers.